Every once in a while, a revolutionary public speaker comes along who changes everything. You're very fortunate in life if you come across at least one such person. Now, famously, the structure dividing the speech into three parts is as old as the hills. If you study the history of theatre, drama, dramatic arts in general, the division into three parts is one possibly of the most frequently used structural divisions in speeches, theatre performances, theatre plays, etc., etc. Now, there is certainly no novelty in dividing any speech into three parts, but it's definitely neat and clear and simple. Three stories. The first story is about connecting the dots, understanding how events and circumstances from the past affect your present and the future. The second story is about love and loss. What more powerful references love and loss in the middle of your speech? And then the third story, importantly, perhaps most importantly of all and symbolically at the same time, is the story of death. Now, death is not one of those subjects you will be too keen to talk about because it has implicit dangers in it. In some cultures, it's really a taboo to talk about death, especially on an optimistic occasion like a commencement ceremony with 23,000 people listening to you after they've just had quite a lot of fun in the usual customary ceremony like the Stanford commencement ceremony. The language Steve Jobs uses in this speech is conversational, extremely simple in fact, very friendly. He tries to adopt the language of his audience, young people's conversational parlance. For instance, when he says, "When I popped out" in the speech, when I popped out instead of when I was born. But the speech is packed with simple expressions and very simple syntactic structures. But those three sentences have at least 5 functions. What are they? Obviously, you start a speech like that, a traditional commencement address with a thank you, so that's what everyone would do probably in the very first words. But then, "I'm honored to be here with you for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world." What is it really? Now, it's the first moment where Steve Jobs reveals his awareness of the audience he's speaking to. What would you expect from a situation like that, a commencement address at one of the finest and most expensive universities in the world? You would expect that here comes the famous, iconic CEO who is about to preach to his audience what they should do to achieve success in life. Instead, what he does is quite the opposite. He starts from a position of humility. He adopts a very humble... Last but not least, let me leave you with a question, and please leave comments if you like, if you feel you have the answer for this question. Even though Steve Jobs was one of the most fascinating storytellers in the entire business world, in the history of business, this particular speech has something uncharacteristic of him, and that is the fact that throughout the Stanford address, he keeps reading, probably from his notes, from the sheets of paper he brought with him. So my question to you is, why would he do that on an important occasion like that? Why would he read from paper every now and then? That's all for today. See you soon.